Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're doing a really focused exploration just for you, the Windows 365 administrator, the enthusiast who needs the latest on what's genuinely new. We're pulling this straight from recent source materials.
That's exactly right. Our goal here is to cut straight to the changes that actually impact your day-to-day work. Managing cloud PCs, maybe optimizing costs, and understanding how things are shifting for your end users.
Yeah, none of the fluff, just the core stuff. And we've got some pretty significant updates on the admin side, especially around reporting. It looks like you get deeper visibility now.
Definitely. And there's also a fairly important change happening on the end user side, too.
Okay, so let's jump right in. Where should we start? Those admin reporting enhancements.
Sounds good. Let's begin with tracking the actions you take on cloud PCs. The sources really highlight the enhanced Cloud PC actions report.
Right. And its main job basically is to give you clear visibility, like the status and progress of actions admins kick off.
Exactly. Think of it as, your main dashboard to see if that thing you started actually finished, if it failed, or maybe if it's still running.
And this covers quite a bit, doesn't it? Like single actions from the Devices tab, and also when you use bulk device actions for lots of PCs at once, those show up under bulk batches, right?
Correct. And you get a decent look back, too. It holds action statuses for the last 90 days.
Okay, 90 days.
Yeah.
And how do you get there? Remind us the path again.
Sure. You sign into the Microsoft Intune Admin Center, go to Devices, then click Monitor, and you should see Cloud PC actions there. It might still say Preview next to it, depending on the rollout.
Got it. Devices monitor Cloud PC actions, and on that main Devices tab inside the report, what columns do you see? Remember device name?
Yeah, device name is there, and also the primary user UPN.
Ah, the UPN, user principal name. Usually looks like their email address, right? Helps you know who's who.
Exactly. Quick identification. And the list of actions it tracks is pretty comprehensive.
Like what? What's included?
Well, you've got create snapshot, move region, place under review, power on off, but that power one is just for Windows 365 frontline dedicated PCs.
Okay. Frontline only for power actions. What else?
Reprovision, resize, restart, restore, and troubleshoot. Pretty much the main remote actions you'd perform.
Okay. And understanding the status seems key. There are 4, right?
Yeah, 4 main statuses. Succeeded, pretty obvious, it worked. Failed means it didn't work. And you often get a retry option if it makes sense.
Okay, makes sense. What are the other 2?
Pending. This means the action is still running. And the sources actually caution you here, don't go removing licenses or making big changes while something's pending. It could cause issues.
Good tip. Don't mess with it while it's pending. And the last one.
Review required. This one means you, the admin, need to do something. The class example is resizing it might go into a resize pending licenses status.
Ah, right. Meaning you need to go assign the new correct license for the bigger size.
Exactly. It needs your input to finish. And you'll also see the date initiated on that tab, so you know when you kicked it off.
Okay. Now, you mentioned bulk actions showing up under bulk batches. Tell me more about that tab.
Right. So if you use bulk device actions on, say, 10 cloud PCs at once, that whole operation gets treated as a batch on this other tab.
Makes sense for managing at scale. What columns are specific to batches?
You get a batch name, which is just generated automatically. You see the action itself, like restart, and then there's completion. This one's cool. It shows a progress percentage for the whole batch.
Oh, nice. Progress percentage. That's useful.
Yeah. And finally, the date initiated for the batch.
So speaking of that batch progress, here's one of the big updates we pulled from the sources, right? This view showing the batches of devices and their current progress percentage. That's moved into general availability. GA.
That's the big news here, yes. It's officially GA. Out of preview, fully supported, ready for prime time in your production environment.
That feels significant. Moving beyond just seeing individual statuses to getting reliable progress on those big bulk jobs.
It absolutely is. For anyone managing more than a handful of cloud PCs, tracking bulk actions effectively was kind of a gap. This fills it nicely.
Definitely an improvement. Okay, so that's the actions report. Let's shift over to the other major report mentioned, the Cloud PC utilization report. What's the focus here?
This one is all about helping you monitor usage. And really, the underlying goal is often cost optimization.
How so?
Well, it helps you find cloud PCs that aren't getting used much. Maybe the license could go to someone else who needs it more.
Or identify ones that haven't been logged into for ages. Maybe they can just be deprovisioned entirely.
Exactly. Save some money, optimize your license pool. That's the idea.
Okay. And where do you find this one?
Path is a little different. In the Intune Admin Center, go to Devices, then Cloud PC performance, and then select Cloud PC utilization.
Devices, Cloud PC performance, Cloud PC utilization.
Got it. What do you see first? The main page gives you what they call the tenant data view. It's basically aggregated usage data across your whole environment for a time period you choose.
And here's another one of those key updates from the source material, right?
Yeah.
The time spans for that aggregated data.
Yes. You now have more options. You can choose 28, 60, or even 90 days for that time-connected overview. Gives you a better long-term perspective on usage trends.
More flexibility. Nice. Does it break down the usage somehow?
It does. There's a histogram that lumps Cloud PCs into categories based on hours connected over the chosen period. High usage is over 80 hours, average is 40 to 80, low is under 40 hours.
None. Like 0 hours.
None, exactly. 0 hours connected. So you get a quick visual overview of the distribution.
Okay. And below that visual, is that where the individual PC list is?
Yep. Below the histogram, you get the detailed list. Columns like device name, user UPN, PC type, and then the crucial ones, time connected.
How is time connected measured there?
That specific column shows the total hours connected over the last 4 weeks. It's a bit different from the aggregate views time span.
Okay, last 4 weeks for the individual PC line item. What else?
Date last connected, which is the very last time someone connected or signed out, looking back over the last 60 days. Also, date created and device type, whether it's enterprise, frontline dedicated, or frontline shared.
Right, and I assume you can filter this list to find those underused ones.
Absolutely. The filters for PC type, time-connected range, and date last connected are key here. You can quickly zero in on, say, all enterprise PCs with less than 10 hours connected in the last 4 weeks, or those not connected in 60 days.
Makes it much easier to investigate potential deprovisioning or maybe just downgrading the license size.
Precisely. And one more really specific but super helpful update the sources point out for this report.
What's that?
You can now explicitly filter for or see Cloud PCs that no one has connected to yet, ever, since they were provisioned.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's different from just 0 hours in the last X days. This is never connected.
Exactly. Perfect for finding those licenses that got assigned but somehow never got used. Shelfware, basically.
That's incredibly useful for reclaiming unused resources immediately. Okay, so that's the aggregate and list view. Can you drill down into one specific PC's usage?
You can. The path is slightly different again. You'd go via Reports in the main Intune menu, then Cloud PC Overview. From there, select Cloud PC Utilization, pick the specific device you want from the list,
Okay.
and then choose the Performance Preview tab for that device.
Reports, Cloud PC Overview, Cloud PC Utilization, Pick Device Performance Preview.
Right, and in there, you'll find a time-connected section showing usage just for that one Cloud PC. You can even click View Report for more granular detail on its activity patterns.
These reporting updates, both for actions and utilization, they really seem to be about giving admins much more sort of fine-grained visibility and control, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's providing the data needed to make smarter decisions, whether that's troubleshooting an action that failed or reallocating an expensive license that's just sitting idle.
Okay, that covers the admin reports pretty thoroughly. Let's switch gears completely now. There was a big change mentioned impacting the end users.
Ah, yes. This is about how users access their Cloud PCs through a web browser, specifically the traditional portal at windows365.microsoft.com.
Right. What's happening with that address?
The sources state very clearly, if a user tries to go to windows365.microsoft.com now, they get automatically redirected.
Redirected where?
To the Windows app experience on the web. So app.cloudpc.microsoft.com essentially, or whatever the current Windows app web URL is.
So the old portal is being phased out in favor of the Windows app web interface.
Exactly. And it's not just a gradual thing. There's a hard date mentioned for when this deprecation will be totally complete.
Yeah.
June 1st, 2025.
June 1st, 2025. Okay, that's important for planning and user communication. After that date, the old URL just won't work anymore. It'll only go to the Windows app.
That seems to be the plan according to the sources. One exception, though.
But with the exception...
Windows 365 government customers. The sources say they will still be able to use the original Windows365.microsoft.com portal even after that date.
Okay, good distinction for government users. But for commercial users, the direction is clearly towards the Windows app as the primary web access point.
Definitely seems like a consolidation of the user experience.
All right, let's try and wrap this deep dive up. If we recap the key takeaways from the source material, what are the main points for our listeners?
Well, on the admin side, the big ones are That Cloud PC Actions report, especially the batch progress view, hitting general availability, that's a solid win for reliability in tracking bold operations.
And the Cloud PC utilization report, getting those new time spans, 28, 60, 90 days for the aggregate view and maybe most importantly for cost savings, that new ability to easily spot Cloud PCs that have never been connected to.
Exactly. Better data for optimization. And then on the end user side, the main thing is the ongoing deprecation of the old Windows 365.microsoft.com portal. Users are being funneled to the Windows app on the web now, and that transition completes June 1st, 2025, except for government cloud users.
So for you, the administrator listening, these updates really mean you're getting better tools to see more clearly what's happening when you manage these Cloud PCs and how they're actually being used or not used.
Which directly helps with better management, smarter resource allocation, and potentially trimming costs. Plus, you need to be aware of the user access point changing.
Right. So here's maybe a final thought to leave you with, based only on what we've seen in these sources. You see this trend. Much more detailed, granular reporting for admins, tracking batches, tracking non-usage, and at the same time, a push to unify the end-user experience into the Windows app.
That contrast is interesting.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What does this combination, this deep visibility for admins, and a single pane of glass for users suggest about the future? Are we heading towards even more granular management capabilities, maybe tighter cost controls? And how might that unified app experience change things like user adoption, or even the kind of support users need down the line?
That's definitely something to think about as you start using these new reports and managing that user transition.
Indeed. Food for thought. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the source material.